In the revenge thriller drama The Glory, a young woman sets off on a long-term plan to get revenge on bullies who tormented her during their high school years. In this video, we'll look at how the series creates compelling characters and discuss the main protagonist, Moon Dong-eun. Per usual, there will be spoilers for the story of The Glory, so I recommend checking out the series before proceeding further. We're looking at the entire first season, consisting of 16 episodes, to see how Dong-eun is portrayed as a character in this video. We follow Dong-eun as she grows from a teenage girl to a young woman throughout the season, so she is the one character who we most empathize with, as we see so much of her tragic life. The series even employs her voiceover from the beginning, hinting at thoughts she's directing towards her enemy, Yeonjin, implying the impending revenge. When she was in school, Dong-eun was basically abandoned by everyone around her. The teachers at school failed to protect her. Her own mother failed to protect her by dropping any legal charges against the bullies for money, and then later literally abandoned her. Even other classmates refused to stand up for her as she was getting abused. So Dong-eun devoted what remained of her will and her life to pursue a long-term revenge plan on Yeonjin, Jae-jun, Sara, Haejong, and Myung-oh. We see Dong-eun striving to make money, working several jobs, then putting herself through school to become a teacher. Along the way, she acquires allies, including her sleuthing partner, Hyeon-nam, and the doctor, Yo-jong. She learns the intricacies of the game Go and applies it to constructing elaborate plans that will eventually cause the group of bullies to turn on each other and destroy themselves, without leaving any evidence pointing toward Dong-eun. So we can start to ask, what is Dong-eun's series objective? The easy answer is that she wants to get revenge on her bullies, but I think there's some additional nuance to this idea. I think Dong-eun wants to give meaning and closure to her broken life by getting revenge on her bullies. If we use the metaphor of a soldier, she's on a mission and will never stop until the assignment is complete. Dong-eun is an interesting character because she internally believes that she has no more reasons to live after suffering great abuse and abandonment. So she's basically a shell of her former self, hell-bent on a singular goal, powered by contained anger and rage. This mentality also reveals why she's initially resistant to any romantic connection with Yo-jong. In her mind, she can't afford to allow for any romance to develop with him while she's on her mission. We can also ask, what is Dong-eun's core fear? In other words, what is she most afraid of? I think Dong-eun is afraid of becoming a victim again, as she enacts her plans for revenge. She has suffered so much and risen above it to get her plans going, so to fall back into a victim scenario is frightening. This is most clearly revealed when Yeonjin makes contact with Dong-eun's alcoholic mother, and she sends this woman back into Dong-eun's life to weigh her down. For most of the season, we usually see an adult Dong-eun very much in control of her emotions when she encounters her bullies. But when her mother enters the picture, Dong-eun expresses deep hurt and resentment toward her mother for being willing to hurt her again and to ally with Yeonjin. Eventually, Dong-eun outwits her mother and gets her committed to a rehab clinic and hospital for treatment, allowing Dong-eun to get back on track with her plans. If we look at how a character is portrayed through their relationships, we can't ignore the dynamic between Dong-eun and Yo-jong, as well as the connection between Dong-eun and Hyeon-nam. In the romantic subplot, Yo-jong continually pursues Dong-eun despite her resistance, and he eventually becomes an ally in her revenge plans. The two are mirror characters of each other in that they've suffered great trauma and are focused on revenge plans that drive their will to live. They are two damaged souls who find some degree of healing and acceptance in understanding each other. For Dong-eun, we see her becoming more open to enjoying life in the present and recognizing her own humanity through her interactions with Yo-jong. Their relationship helps Dong-eun to realize she's not just a shell of her former self and that she can seek restoration. One of the most powerful scenes is when Dong-eun reveals her scars for the first time to Yo-jong, which is a move for her becoming more vulnerable and open to him. The same can be said of her dynamic with Hyeon-nam, the housekeeper who becomes a sleuthing partner to Dong-eun. Hyeon-nam's cheerful, somewhat naive perspective on events contrasts greatly with Dong-eun's stoic personality. So their scenes reveal moments when Dong-eun seems completely out of her element, not responding to Hyeon-nam's jokes or desire to share a memorable moment. But like Dong-eun's relationship with Yo-jong, her relationship with Hyeon-nam creates scenes where her emotional arc grows and evolves. We see Dong-eun becoming more emotionally expressive and appreciative toward Hyeon-nam as time progresses. This growth also creates a sense within us as the audience that we believe Dong-eun has more to live for after she finishes her plans for revenge. She now has meaningful relationships and a life that can be built. When her plans for revenge get underway, it's also interesting to note that Dong-eun doesn't actually take any action that kills any of the bullies directly. She simply sets up circumstances that lead the bullies to turn on each other, leading to imprisonment, injury, and death. This removes Dong-eun from any direct fault toward the bully's demise, and it also reflects her strategic mindset inspired by the game of Go. Dong-eun also extends mercy toward the bullies, including an electric scene between her and Yeonjin, where Dong-eun gives her bully a chance to turn herself in. Since she is the main protagonist, Dong-eun has the most developed character arc in the season. From starting as a bullied victim to becoming a redeemed, restored woman with a new life, Dong-eun could not have gone down this road on her own. She starts off as an isolated character, but then grows into having meaningful relationships that shape her trajectory. In some ways, we're seeing Dong-eun come of age as an adult and experiencing things like love and friendship that she never got to embrace during her youth. Her arc goes through several transitions, allowing her to move from being a shell of her former self to learning how to welcome partners into her plans and to finally embracing a new life that isn't all about her own motives. Dong-eun is the heart and soul of The Glory, and her character arc is the narrative spine that all the events rest on. In the end, it's compelling to see how she pursued her revenge plans while still maintaining and regaining more of her humanity through the process, even if it was unexpected to her.